I stood at the edge of Crystal Cove, watching my family celebrate their annual beach house planning meeting without me. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the beachfront restaurant, I could see them laughing, passing around blueprints for what would become the Anderson family legacy estate. My phone buzzed, probably another text from Mom explaining why I wasn't invited. "Sarah, honey, this project is for successful family members who can contribute financially. Maybe next year." I let out a bitter laugh. If they only knew that the quiet tech company I'd built over the last 5 years was worth more than all their combined wealth. Ms. Roberts. My real estate agent, Marcus, approached with a leather portfolio. "Everything's ready for your signature. Are you sure you want to proceed with buying the entire coastline?" "Absolutely." I took the pen he offered. "All 20 miles of Crystal Cove, including every existing structure and development rights. It's a significant investment. $500 million is pocket change compared to what this beach will be worth once I implement my plans." I signed the final document with a flourish. "When does the purchase become public?" "The records will be updated Monday morning." "Perfect. Just in time for their groundbreaking ceremony." Inside the restaurant, my older sister Emma was holding court, her designer sundress practically glowing in the sunset light. Next to her, my brother Jack and his wife Melissa were nodding enthusiastically as she pointed to different areas of their planned mansion. Mom and Dad sat at the head of the table, beaming with pride at their successful children. The same parents who'd called my tech startup a cute hobby 5 years ago when I asked to borrow $10,000 for seed funding. "Would you like to join them?" Marcus asked, noticing my gaze. "No need." I smiled, checking my watch. "They'll be joining me soon enough." Right on cue, a group of surveyors began setting up equipment on the beach. Dad noticed first, his brow furrowing as he watched them place markers near their precious construction site. I counted down, 3, 1. Mom burst out of the restaurant, her Gucci heels sinking into the sand as she marched toward the surveyors. "Excuse me. This is private property. We're breaking ground on our family estate here Monday morning." "Actually, ma'am," one surveyor replied, checking his papers, "this entire beach was just purchased by Roberts Technologies. We're marking the boundaries for the new development plan." "That's impossible. We have permits, approvals which were contingent on the previous owner," I called out, walking toward them. "The new owner, me, has different plans for Crystal Cove." Mom's face went through several shades of red before settling on a sickly pale. Behind her, the rest of the family had emerged from the restaurant, staring in shock. "Sarah." Emma's voice cracked. "What are you talking about?" "Well, dear sister, since this beach house project was for successful family members only, I decided to ensure its success. I pulled out my own set of blueprints. By buying the entire beach." Dad stepped forward, his real estate developer instincts kicking in. "Now wait a minute. You can't just Can't just what, Dad? Can't just buy 20 miles of prime oceanfront property? Can't just override your development permits? Can't just decide who gets to build here?" I unrolled my plans on a nearby survey table. "Actually, I can do all of that. And more." Jack, always the family peacemaker, tried to intervene. "Sarah, be reasonable. We can work something out. Like you worked things out when I needed startup funding? Or when Emma convinced Mom and Dad not to invite me to the family investment meetings because I was embarrassingly unsuccessful?" "That was different," Emma protested. "You were just playing with computers in your garage." "Playing?" I laughed. "That playing built Roberts Technologies into a $10 billion company. But you wouldn't know that because none of you bothered to ask what I was working on." Mom's face suddenly shifted from anger to calculation, her signature look when she spotted an opportunity. "Darling, if you're doing so well, why didn't you say something? Of course you should be part of the beach house project." "Too late." I gestured to the surveyors. "I have my own plans for Crystal Cove. A tech campus, research facilities, and yes, a house. One house. Mine. You can't do this to your family." Mom's voice rose to a shriek. "Actually, Mom, I can." And I did. I pulled out my phone, showing them the deed transfer. "Welcome to my beach. By the way, that restaurant you're so fond of, I own that now. And I think it's time for you all to leave." "This isn't over," Emma hissed as security began escorting them out. "You're right," I agreed. It's just beginning. The next morning, my office was flooded with calls, texts, and emails from every family member, including distant cousins I hadn't heard from in years. News travels fast when someone buys 20 miles of prime coastline. Your father's in the lobby, my assistant Lisa announced. He's with Mr. Harrison from Sterling and Harrison Law Firm. Of course. Dad's go-to move. When you can't control something, sue for it. Send them up. Lisa. Get James from legal in here. James arrived first, a thick folder under his arm. I've got everything ready. All purchase documents, permits, and the environmental impact studies they conveniently ignored in their original plans. Perfect timing. I smiled as Dad and his lawyer walked in. Dad looked around my office, all glass and modern technology, with a stunning view of the ocean he no longer controlled. His face tightened when he saw the framed magazine cover on my wall. Tech's Rising Star. Sarah Roberts revolutionizes smart city development. Sarah, he started, his voice carefully measured. This little stunt has gone far enough. Stunt? I raised an eyebrow. Buying $500 million worth of property is hardly a stunt, Dad. It's what you taught us. Invest in prime real estate. Mr. Harrison cleared his throat. Ms. Roberts, we've reviewed the situation and there appear to be some irregularities in the purchase. James slid the folder across my desk. Actually, there aren't. Everything was done legally and transparently. Unlike the Anderson family's original permits, which somehow overlooked critical environmental surveys. Dad's face reddened. Now see here, Dash. No, you see here. I stood up, pressing a button that turned my office windows into display screens. These are my plans for Crystal Cove. A sustainable tech campus that will bring thousands of jobs to the area. Solar-powered buildings, public beach access, and protected wildlife areas. The images showed gleaming buildings seamlessly integrated with the natural landscape, everything their gaudy mansion plans weren't. The city council has already approved the preliminary designs, James added. They were quite impressed with the economic benefits. The council? Dad sputtered. But I have connections, Dash. Had connections, I corrected him. Amazing how quickly loyalties shift when someone offers a better vision. And more money. Mr. Harrison was flipping through our documents, his expression growing increasingly concerned. Richard, there's something you should see. The clause about existing structures? I smiled. Yes, as the new owner, I have the right to review all current rental agreements, including the beach club where Mom holds her charity galas. Dad sank into a chair. You wouldn't cancel her membership? No, I wouldn't. I paused. I'm turning it into a STEM education center for underprivileged kids. The kind of people Mom usually keeps out. Just then my phone buzzed with a text from Emma. Mom's having a meltdown at the beach club. Says she's not leaving until she talks to you. Excuse me, gentlemen. It seems there's a situation requiring my attention. I grabbed my jacket. James, please explain to Mr. Harrison exactly how many environmental violations their original plans contained. Dad, you might want to call Mom before security removes her from what is now my property. The drive to the beach club took 10 minutes. I found Mom holding court in the main dining room, surrounded by her society friends as she dramatically recounted how her ungrateful daughter had betrayed the family. Mom, I called out, my voice carrying across the room. I believe your membership expires today. The room went silent. Mom's friends, the same women who'd dismissed my career choices for years, suddenly found their lunch plates fascinating. How dare you? Mom stood up, mascara slightly smeared. I built this club's reputation. I brought all these people here. And now I'm bringing new people here. People who will actually contribute to society instead of just gossiping about it. Is this revenge? She demanded. For not including you in the beach house? No, Mom. This is business. Something you never thought I could understand. I gestured to the windows, where workers were already taking down the club's pretentious old signage. Welcome to the Crystal Cove Innovation Center. I think it's time for your final lunch meeting. As security escorted her out, she turned back. Your sister was right about you. You're not a real Anderson. Thank God for that, I replied. I'm a Roberts. And I just changed the rules of your game. 3 months later, Crystal Cove was unrecognizable. The stuffy beach club had been transformed into a bustling innovation center, with local students learning coding and robotics where socialites once sipped overpriced martinis. I stood on the balcony of my new beachfront office, watching the construction of the tech campus. Unlike my family's gaudy mansion plans, our buildings seemed to emerge naturally from the landscape, all sustainable materials and clean lines. Ms. Roberts. Lisa appeared at my side. Your brother Jack is here. He's alone. Of all my family members, Jack had been the quietest since the takeover. No angry calls, no legal threats, no dramatic scenes at my office. Send him up. Jack looked different, more casual in jeans and a button-down shirt instead of his usual expensive suits. He walked to the balcony, taking in the view. This is not what I expected, he admitted. What did you expect? A revenge plot to destroy the family? Isn't it? I handed him a tablet showing the project details. This is about building something meaningful. The tech campus will employ thousands. The Innovation Center has already awarded scholarships to 50 local students. The environmental restoration project is bringing back native species. And making you a fortune in the process, he noted, scrolling through the financials. That's the difference between us, Jack. I built this to create value, not just to show off our wealth. I paused. How's everyone else? He sighed. Dad's law firm dropped him after reviewing your documentation. Emma's husband left her. Turns out he was only interested in her trust fund, which she lost betting against your company's stock. And Mom? Still playing victim at her new country club? Actually, she's in therapy. Apparently, losing the beach club forced her to face some hard truths. Before I could respond, Lisa rushed in. Sorry to interrupt, but Emma's downstairs making a scene. She's threatening to talk to the press. I pulled up the security feed. Emma stood in the lobby, designer outfit now looking slightly worn, waving papers at the receptionist. Let her come up, I said. It's time to end this. When Emma burst into my office, she stopped short, seeing Jack. You traitor. You're siding with her now. I'm not siding with anyone, Jack replied calmly. I'm just trying to understand. Understand what? How she destroyed our family. Our legacy. Emma thrust the papers at me. Look what your little power play did to us. I glanced at the documents, bankruptcy filings, divorce papers, therapy bills. No, Emma. Look what your own actions did to you. What's that supposed to mean? You spent years building your identity around being the successful sister. The perfect Anderson daughter. But what did you actually build? I gestured to the construction outside. While you were planning one beach house to show off your wealth, I built something that creates wealth for an entire community. Oh please. You just got lucky with your tech company dash. Lucky? Jack interrupted. Emma, she worked 70-hour weeks in a garage for 5 years. She tried to tell us about her company, but we were too busy planning parties and vacation homes to listen. Emma sank into a chair, her composure cracking. It wasn't supposed to be like this. We're Andersons. We don't fail. No, I said quietly. You just never learned how to succeed on your own merits. Just then my phone buzzed with a news alert. Roberts Technologies announces free coding bootcamp for local youth, Crystal Cove Innovation Center to host program. Want to know the irony? I showed them the article. The program's first class includes kids from the same public school you pulled your children out of because it wasn't exclusive enough. Emma stared at the screen, then out at the construction, then back at me. How did you do it? Really? I stopped trying to be an Anderson and started being Sarah Roberts. I sat down across from her. The question is, who are you without the Anderson name to hide behind? I don't know. Well, I pulled out 3 folders. The Innovation Center is hiring program coordinators. People who can organize events, manage relationships, build community connections. Sound familiar? Emma's hands shook as she took the folder. You give me a job? After everything? I'm giving you an opportunity. What you do with it is up to you. I handed the other folders to Jack. And we need someone to manage stakeholder relations. Someone who can bridge different perspectives. Jack smiled slightly. Always the peacemaker, huh? Always the builder, I corrected. Of companies, communities, and maybe new family bonds. As they left my office with job applications, not lawsuits, I looked out at Crystal Cove. The sun was setting, painting the ocean in shades of gold and pink. Somewhere out there, a family had once planned to build a monument to their wealth. Instead, I'd built something better. A foundation for real success, not just the appearance of it. My phone buzzed again, a text from Mom. The therapist says I should tell you. You did good, Sarah. Really good. I smiled and typed back. Thanks, Mom. The Innovation Center has a great coffee shop. Maybe we can talk there sometime. After all, some beaches are worth more than their sand, and some families are worth rebuilding one honest conversation at a time. 1 year later, Crystal Cove had become the tech hub of the coast. The Roberts Innovation Campus sprawled elegantly along the shoreline, its solar glass buildings reflecting both sky and sea. But today's event wasn't about technology or business. It was about family. I stood in the courtyard of the Innovation Center, watching students showcase their projects to potential investors. Among them was my nephew, Tommy, Emma's son, proudly demonstrating the marine conservation app he'd developed in our youth coding program. He's really good at this, Emma said, appearing beside me in her program coordinator uniform. The past year had changed her dramatically. Gone were the designer labels and artificial airs, replaced by genuine enthusiasm for her work with student programs. Takes after his aunt, Jack teased, joining us. As head of community relations, he'd become the bridge between the tech campus and local residents. Though Mom might still be in shock that her grandson prefers coding to country club tennis. Speaking of Mom, I spotted her across the courtyard, giving a tour to a group of potential donors. She'd surprised everyone by volunteering at the Innovation Center's outreach program, eventually becoming one of our most effective fundraisers. Ms. Roberts. Lisa approached with an urgent expression. Your father's here. The courtyard suddenly felt colder. Dad hadn't spoken to me since the failed lawsuit attempt. Last I'd heard, he'd moved to Florida after his real estate business collapsed. Where? By the memorial wall.